Hi, I'm Amber Hairston, and this is my life story so far. I was raised in a very small town in southwest Arkansas, and I grew up in a very small ABA Missionary Baptist church. At the age of 11, after hearing the gospel my entire life, I realized that I was lost. And so I remember praying and begging God to just save my soul. And I'm very thankful that He did that day. Even though God saved my soul and I knew I was a Christian, I didn't always live the life that I knew He wanted me to live. Growing up in a very small town, we had 2 stop signs. One was on a dirt road. So population 110. We were very small. There were several kids that were all pretty close to the same age, and we grew up together. The night Brian and I went on our first date, not necessarily the night, but the day after, was a huge turning point in my life. That night, when I got to my house, the front yard was full of vehicles and people, and found out that one of the friends that had grown up with us, was like a brother, had been in a four-wheeler accident. That's what we did. We got on four-wheelers, we strapped the ice chest on the back, and we went to the river and we rode. And Lee was drinking and had had way too much to drink, and decided that he would climb a hill that he couldn't climb. And the four-wheeler flipped over on him, stood up and said he was fine, and then immediately dropped. That was a defining moment for my life. God used losing Lee to wake me up to realize that I was not on the path that I was supposed to be on. And I love how God had Brian there at that moment. And at the time, I didn't really think anything about it. In fact, at the time, I kind of turned back a little ways to those friends that had the bond with Lee. But Brian was right by my side through the whole thing, and I know now, without a shadow of a doubt, that God had placed Brian in my life before we lost Lee. And it's just amazing to see how it all works together. Brian proposed in August. Once we got in the same town and realized we could stand each other, it moved pretty fast. And then we got married the following March. So our anniversary is March 17th, 2001. God blessed us pretty quickly with Logan, and he was born December 23rd, 2004. I'm very thankful for Brian and the role that he played, not only obviously in our marriage and in my boys, but in my faith. There were lots of things that I was so set on and rigid on that I did not have any give at all. There was no way that you were going to persuade me, because this is what my mama and what my papa said, and so this must be true. Not that they didn't teach me true, but that I had no biblical foundation myself for why I believed what I believed. And Brian encouraged me to find it out, to study, to read the Word, to pray, to find myself why I truly believed what I believed, that the Bible told me what to believe, not what Mama and Papa told me to believe. And so he definitely stretched me in my faith. There were lots of battles, arguments, disagreements, hard times, trying to figure out exactly how we were as a couple. The first year of marriage was tough. Finally decided to come one Sunday morning to Pauline, and guys, it really was like the heavens opened and the light shone down, and we knew that this was where God wanted us. This was where we were supposed to be. We both had peace. We'll never forget the visits and the hours that were spent with Brother Chad and Bill Birchfield. I hate to name names because I'll forget somebody, but all of you who came and poured into us and answered our questions and supported us and let us know that this was a family that we could be a part of. And we joined and have never one time regretted it. We love it at Pauline. We're so happy here and thankful for the opportunity to serve in the heart of the church. February 29th, 2008, we were blessed with another bundle of joy named Luke. You guys probably know him as the kid who runs around and makes multiple trips to the ER. He is the life of any party that he's in, and we can't imagine not having him. He's the perfect complement to Logan, and he completed our family. After we had Luke, I felt like it was time for me to go back to work full-time. I had been working part-time, and it was time to go back full-time, and didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing, what my calling was, or where I was supposed to be. So one day I got a phone call from Dabney Stale asking me, she said, "Amber, don't you have a family consumer sciences degree?" And I said, "I do." She said, "Well, you know, Dad's a coach at the high school, and the FACS teacher left over Christmas break." This was December. And I was like, "Really?" Well, I didn't have an education degree. I didn't have a teaching license, but I thought, I want that job. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm gonna do. So I called the principal at home on Christmas break and said, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I have, and I don't know if I can get a license, but I want that job." Mr. Pennington called me on New Year's Eve and offered me the position. I started teaching January 2nd. I truly feel that I'm right where God wants me to be. And I believe that being able to talk about real life situations allows me the opportunity to share my faith in ways that if I were in another setting would not. I love it. I love it. Some people go, you know, to Africa. James goes to Africa. I go to Monticello High School every day, and I really feel that that's my mission field. It's funny to be able to look back and see the hand of God in situations and things that at the moment you thought were impossible. Multiple times in life things have happened where I felt like I was completely defeated and completely alone. And it's amazing to be able to look back now and see that God's hand was right in the middle. I'm thankful for Brian and for a church family that stretches me and that makes me dig and that makes me study and that encourages me to have a foundation, to have that biblical truth and to speak truth into our lives where we can then speak that truth into other people's lives.